What's up,
Yo.
everybody? Welcome to another episode of Friday the 14th presents UHD. Uh, I'm Juan, the real Juan, and I'm joined by the 4K bad guy, Nick.
What's up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man.
Good. I'm excited. Another Stephen King movie. I'm not meaning to keep this show themed or anything, but past few weeks it's been Stephen King, and last week on the main show we talked about Silent Hill. Or no, we talked Final Destination.
Final
Oof.
session. Ooh,
Yeah.
man.
Silent Hill was 2 weeks
Watching.
ago.
Yeah, our last UHD episode was Silent Hill. And of course, it was Final Destination as far as the main show.
So
I think I feel like part of the connection what you're trying to make was we did review Pet Cemetery,
Pet
Stephen King.
Cemetery. Yeah. And the actress that we're talking about today was in Silent Hill, so I kind of got a little mixed up with that too. But good week.
Good week.
Good
As far
week.
as physical media,
Good week for physical media. I can't wait to dig into some of that this weekend. Call myself into some physical media. But today's episode, guys, we're talking all about Sleepwalkers, Stephen King's underrated screenplay. I don't know. We'll talk to it. We'll talk. We'll talk about it. So yeah, we'll get ready to dig into it. But it's a busy weekend. Like you have Obi-Wan Kenobi dropping this week. Stranger Things 4 is dropping this week. Are you wanting to stream any of that, or are you just going to take a hard pass?
Obi-Wan the son. Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
But
are you a Stranger Things fan?
Stranger Things, I've never been able to finish the first season. I was like maybe midpoint and then never got back to it.
It doesn't interest me like everybody. Everybody's like jaw dropping over it, and to me, it's just okay. Oh, I finished season 1, and I just never had the urge to finish anything else.
So we're kind of on the same boat. Even though you finished season 1, I'm still trying to.
It's not as glorious as at least to me. I don't know. I kind of take the back seat to everything, but yeah, you said physical media. There's a huge week of physical media. You got the Batman X, Candyman 4K.
Ooh.
What do you think? Do you like you picked it up, right? Did you enjoy the slip covers?
Not that you know like as far as the transfer, but slipcover, I mean, that's the original artwork, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm more surprised that what the 4K releases are doing, it's mainly been the original artwork, the original stuff, not like the custom artwork like they do on their old releases Blu-ray, like the movie we're reviewing. I see you had your copy.
Yes. Sleepwalkers. I always enjoy the nice Scream Factory editions. Under the slip, I always turn it to the classic VHS covers.
Ooh.
I want to talk. I was actually going to talk to you about that today. Is like the Scream Factory collection series that comes out. They pick a certain amount of movies, and how important are the special features to you? Is that like one of the things that you look at before you go out and buy it? And when you do buy it, do you check out the special features first, or the transfer, or the movie? I know we're kind of jumping a little all over the place right now, but I only brought that up because the special features on this Scream Factory are pretty decent. There's some interviews and a featurette. But then on the other hand, I've had some Scream Factory movies and there's like no special features at all. So I just thought I'd bring that up to you. Like, is that a factor on any of your purchases? Like,
I mean, I just like most of the time I just watch the movie that like part of it's to see the quality of how big of a jump it was, and then I just kind of, I mean, it's not like I don't enjoy special features because that's something, but usually I just like, oh, all right, let's see what we have here. Sometimes it'll be like, just to make a silly example, for Gothica, there's that music video
Oh yeah.
by Limp Bizkit, but no, but I like to watch the interviews. Like for the Sleepwalkers one, I didn't get to watch the main one with the director Mick Garris. I had to watch the special feature on the main characters.
Yeah, they're not too bad. They're only like 10 or 15 minutes too. I only bring that up because I got a Shout Factory movie a few weeks ago or last week called The Ghost in the Darkness. 25.99, brand new release, first time on Blu-ray. So everybody was hyped up about it. The price on this thing is like 24.99, and there's no special features whatsoever. I don't know. I just think sometimes Shout Factory is like we can just put Shout Factory on it, people will buy it.
Yeah, Scream Factory. We won't be technical.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
Shout Factory. I mean,
yeah. Well, this one was a non-horror release, so
oh,
it was put out
gotcha,
by
gotcha.
Shout Factory. But yeah, the Scream Factory, I guess they do they're nothing but horror movies, but I
Yeah.
enjoyed the special features on Sleepwalkers. But speaking of, that's what we're getting into today. You excited?
Always, always. This is this was from 1992.
Yeah. April 10th, 1992. Usually we'll share some of the nice little pictures of who stars in this movie. So, Sleepwalkers from 1992, a mother and son team of strange supernatural creatures move to a small town to seek out a young virgin to feed on. Starring Brian Craze, uh, Machen Amick, Allison Cridge, Cindy Pickett, Ron Perlman, Dan Martin, Glenn Shaddix, John Landis, with some honestly some really good cameos of Stephen King, Clive Barker, Toby Hooper, and at the very beginning, one Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. Oh man.
Written for screenplay by Stephen King and directed by Mick Garris. And you can see some of them here: Ron Perlman, Dan Martin, who plays Andy, Machen, who plays Tanya, Brian Cross, who plays Charles Brady, Alice Cridge, who was in Silent Hill. We talked about a few weeks ago. She plays Mrs. Brady. What do you think of the cast here? You have some great horror icons, writers and directors making their presence known in this movie. This is, I believe, one of only movies that Stephen King actually wrote the script for.
Instead of the book adaptation.
Yeah, usually we know him as writing the book, and then it becomes a screenplay. But
yeah,
he actually wrote the screenplay for this. What do you think? What did you think about the cast?
As far as cast, it's a great lineup. I mean, there was definitely a lot of cameos. The cast was on point. As far as Mrs. Mrs. Robinson, I just like in this movie she looks like really attractive, and of course Saya. That's just weird. But this at times the cast makes you feel like it's not even really a horror film. Like it could just be like a regular movie, like love story type of thing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because when I first saw this years ago when I was like a preteen, this was always on like the Sci-Fi Channel, so it was a little watered down. But yeah, definitely rewatching it this past day for this episode, it didn't feel as horror like as it normally does. But I still thought it was a fun watch. So we'll see. Is this your first time checking it out, or have you seen it before?
Well, as well as like viewing the movie, I was like, I know I've seen parts of this movie. I just a lot of times I don't, because on channels like you said it was on Sci-Fi, right?
Yeah,
It might have been where I peeked at it, or maybe AMC, maybe. bunch of commercial breaks, so life I've been to the channel, so I never get to see a movie in its entirety, and still physical media, of course. But
You guys,
uh,
you guys can see the IMDb rating right there.
oh,
Um,
5.3.
yeah,
Got a little comments on the bottom here. Wait, so they just straight up tell you a twist in the summary right in the beginning? I haven't seen it in a while. It was a twist. It was a twist, right? Like they were monsters later in the movie.
the movie tells you that they're a twist, that they're monsters at the beginning of the movie.
I guess. But
Yeah,
that was from Absolute Kings Entertainment, and you know who that is?
I don't.
That's Mr. Fuentes' channel.
Yeah, I don't. Speaking of the beginning, it does tell you that they are not really what I guess somewhat of creatures, but straight from the screenplay's mouth. It's uh it's interesting. I'll say that I do like the opening of like the old Egyptian like tellings of the cats and the shapeshifters. I thought that was a pretty fun sequence. So
But doesn't the just going based off the comment, doesn't the trailer give away some of that?
the one that we're watching here, or
Well,
that we were.
not this current. Yeah, the one we're watching.
Yeah. But if you joined us 2 weeks ago, spoiler alert, we played the entire trailer 2 weeks ago when we checked it out on Next Up. But yeah, I guess that synopsis, that opening synopsis, does kind of tell you that they're a mother and son team of a strange, like supernatural creatures. So
It's,
it is
uh,
a 1992. It is a big spoiler alert for what's a 30-year-old movie this year. Wow, yeah, 92.
it's older than me.
So
You already went through this the crew, the synopsis, right?
yeah,
And I believe the next part in this show is your favorite part.
man, the uh the machetes. No, this is the butterfingers, the butter knives,
The Butterfingers.
the butterfingers. Um,
Mm.
we're gonna start have to call them like cat claws.
Huh?
Cat claws
Cat
today.
claws for the special episode.
So yeah, for this episode. Um, since it's my pick, I guess I'll go first. I was leaning towards. We're gonna have to get a drum roll set up in this show, but I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
3.5. Ooh.
Yeah, 3.5, and you might call it a little bit of maybe it's a guilty pleasure.
There
And
was
I'll
difference of
definitely
pleasure.
yeah, I'll definitely touch on my favorites a little bit later on, but for now, 3.5. What about you, Nick?
mm. Hmm. You put me in an awkward position. Because in reality, that that 3.5 was my actual rating.
Yeah,
Hmm. But yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go 3.5. I was thinking for just a second, maybe I can be generous and give it a 4, but you know what? I'll go in even as of right now. I'll stick with 3.5.
so a 3.5, like we talked about earlier, it's a 30-year-old movie. If you haven't checked it out, you can go check it out on Pluto TV for free, or you can rent it on Prime Video for $2.99, or you can just check out this awesome Screen Factory Blu-ray. It's like I think I got mine for like $14.99 a few years ago, and if you're a Stephen King fan or even just a horror movie fan or a physical media fan in general, like go check it out. It's worth the penny, especially if you can find it with the slipcase. So yeah. Um, and you know what? Since this is a streaming a video episode, uh, if anybody wants to share their rating, 1 out of 5, comment, uh, send a message to the YouTube channel, or just comment here like we had that last comment. I think it'd be pretty cool to hear everybody else's star rating or butter knife rating of
Butterknife.
of Sleepwalkers. So, man, the movie does open up kind of weird and kind of like almost like you don't know what you're watching. Like, are you watching a monster movie? Are you watching a horror movie? Is it like a sci-fi movie with these creatures? Are they vampires at some point? You kind of, if you don't know what you're getting yourself into, you can kind of guesstimate the first maybe 25 minutes, really. Um, and I like that this movie is only an hour and a half, and it to me it kind of just flew by. What about you? Did you like the pacing? Did it fly by for you?
It was yeah, it was pretty fast movie. But I was pausing in between it because I needed to do something. But yeah, the timing was pretty good.
You open it up with Mark Hamill, and they talk about shapeshifters. 92. Mark Hamill looked old. They really put some makeup on him. I don't think he was really that old.
They slapped the mustache on his face, and that's
Yeah.
slick back hair.
He was getting ready to do a different kind of movie, I guess. No. But I wanted to ask you this. You're a big cat fan, Nick. You big animal lover, big cat fan. What'd you think of the portrayal or the cats are like the superheroes in this movie?
They were the heroes of the story, yeah.
Yeah, they saved the day.
Especially what's his name? I already forget his name.
I had the name written down, but I didn't.
His name is Clovis.
Clovis,
it's on the cover.
There you go.
Clovis. Yeah, Clovis was the best character out of the whole movie.
Yeah. Some of the big
Yeah, I watched this movie with my cat, like I said I was. It's like look at all that.
It's definitely interesting. Like what in the first 10 minutes, you kind of get that feel of it says mother and son, but I feel like they're doing something they shouldn't be doing, especially when he picks her up and takes her into the bedroom.
When they're doing the dance, their dances are
yeah.
the masterpiece of a song.
Masterpiece of a song. Could you imagine just listening to that song Memorial Day weekend, sipping some Dr. Pepper? What a weekend!
That would be a nice weekend. But then I just talking about that dance scene. I'm like, oh, it's a mother and son little cute moment going on here. But then their faces like really next to each other. Like I'm definitely gets sexual, especially. Then she kisses him on the cheek. Like, we're still safe. We're still safe. And then she moves into the lip area. Like, oh, okay.
Oh, I come from Alabama, with banjo on my knee.
I already knew like the incest was coming before like rewatching this movie. Like actually getting to see it, but just to see it at the moment, it's like it's always.
So the mom is like, I guess, slowly losing the powers, and the son has to go out and get the energy and feed off of the virgins, and then he pushes the powers into the mom by doing the sexual favors to her, right? In all reality, that's how he gives her the powers.
Yeah, he definitely gives her the power. No, but I mean, that's such a weird concept.
Stephen King, you know, he's brilliant at writing books, supposedly, even though he doesn't get the endings quite right, I guess, from what some people say. But like, this is his first time like really writing like a screenplay for the big screen. I personally like the movie, I really do, but I just don't get the point of the whole pushing the mother son fantasy out there. I don't. That's out of the whole movie. I just don't get that. Like, why not just make them like a couple, or make them like a team? I don't know. Or maybe that.
So
Yeah,
related.
yeah. And you could even argue that maybe they're like, oh, maybe that's just the kind of creature or aliens, whatever they are. Maybe that's just how
That's their normal.
that's
That's normal
normal
what to
for them.
do.
Yeah, that's probably just normal for them.
What cracks me up because there's a scene later on in the movie where, we're probably saving this later on, but I'm just gonna go ahead and mention it right now. Stephen King's cameo, and he's talking about them being perverts, but yet he's the real pervert for making this screenwriters.
Yeah, he yeah,
So
he says it multiple times.
it cracked me up because he's going to person, and isn't one of the people like Clive Barker.
Yeah, he goes to Clive Barker. I think he goes to Hooper. Um, the guy taking the pictures, the redheaded guy, he looked familiar too. I can't remember who or what he was though. Maybe he was just Stuart. Oh, okay, never mind. I guess he's just a cheesy actor. But Stuart Toronto, the police photographer, I could have sworn I've seen him in some other stuff. Oh, that's right. He was Ted in Friday the 13th Part 2. He's also in Christine, which I haven't seen that movie in a long time. Anyway, we'll get back to the Sleepwalkers.
I got another comment down here in the bottom. Well, nowadays with all the options on Pornhub, it seems family fun time is a new thing. I have to ask you this question. After watching this movie, did you do a little search on the web?
For like a mother and son relationship, or
I don't know. I feel like certain movies will like oh, they leave you there like, oh, I need more.
No, I did search the mother who played Tanya's mom. I did some searching of that actress because I know she had looked familiar. But as far as like plot wise to movies like this, I didn't. As if that's what you're talking about. What about you?
But no.
I mean, yeah, there is always family fun time. I mean,
Family fun time.
could you imagine them two playing Twister right before they went out and tried to abduct Tanya? That's probably what it's called. Twister in the litter box.
It's interesting that the main characters of the movie are just like the straight up bad guys.
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of before they start antagonizing Tanya, at least I did. Did you kind of feel bad for any of them, like for Charles or for the mom in the first like maybe 10 or 15 minutes? Because you're just kind of like, what are these weird, awful creatures doing here? And the cats are just trying to get in, it seems like, and they have the entire house surrounded by bear traps, or just traps, period. And it's kind of like, I don't know. I didn't see that as them being like vulnerable, but I did see them as like, I kind of started feeling sorry for them for like the first 10, 15 minutes. I don't know. But I know you're the cat guy, so you're like, nah, fuck these people. They got traps up here for these cats.
Yeah, traps are there for the cats, but the cats were the ones dodging it. Then people again were just actual humans getting trapped.
Speaking of Tanya, you get introduced to her at the movie theater, singing, cleaning, getting down. I haven't seen her in a lot of other stuff other than like she was in a few episodes of Baywatch, I think, but I didn't even see Baywatch. I just got that off the special features. But I haven't seen her in anything else. So she was pretty good in this, the eye candy for the movie.
Definitely eye candy.
and you would think, oh, cheesy '90s horror movie. There's probably not any good acting in this, but it was actually kind of the opposite. Like I was a little surprised by some of the acting chops from both Brian, who plays Charles, and Tanya's character. What about you? Did you enjoy the chemistry between the two lovebirds?
Well, before Charles went and fucked it up for himself, the chemistry was very strong there. It was very nice, but of course you're too busy seeing Charles. You know what he's all about. Um, you knew there's gonna be that moment where, oh, this was nice. Well, it lasted.
What do you think? The teacher, uh,
Oh,
Mr. Fallows, played by Glenn Shaddix, who is also a uh, he's if you guys really want to know where he's from, he's like one of the main characters in Beetlejuice. Is what he's most known for. Um, but yeah, the teacher pulls over the student, which I thought was funny. Like if you're like hiding stuff, why would you let the teacher just pull you over? Um, but that's the first kill you get. Like Mr. Fallows dies and it took like 30 minutes. What do you think of his death? Even though it didn't really show a lot, but like it's a horror movie, 30 minutes to death. Do you wish it would have came a little sooner, or do you think that was fine?
it was that was fine, but it was pretty hilarious. He just took his hand off and he throw it at him or just kind of smacked him with it or something.
Yeah,
Like,
those
keep
cat
your hands to
powers.
yourself.
That's really
Man,
what does like follow this as a '90s movie. Like there's a lot of cheesy like one-liners in this from Charles, and like even though they're cheesy, like I still dig it. Like keep your hands to yourself, or later on the mom is like, if you don't eat your vegetables, you don't get no desserts.
Charles Lee one liners. Is he Charles Lee Ray? Chucky? But I mean, the teacher was very nosy. He's like, oh
True.
wait, you're something doesn't add up. You're not who you say you are. What's he gonna do to him? You're not who you say you are.
That would have been fun if he came out of his car with a ruler and he did the whole like the all right now, Sonny,
Hmm.
bend over.
Sir, get away from me.
But that kill does lead into a pretty cool chase scene because you get introduced to Andy and Clovis.
Close. Just a cat.
So, what'd you
Mm.
think of the chase scene?
That was like Fast and Furious. No, that
But
was
10 times better.
10 times better. Yeah, at one point there was even a squirrel that pops up.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
he tries to lose him behind that one of the 18 wheelers or the big trucks. And that guy was named Andy, the cop. He's like, oh shit. And he quickly he drives off to the side. Barely dodges it. But like they he tells them like, oh, I'm chasing down this person, this guy, whatever. And they're like, do you need assistance? Like, nah, hell no, I'm gonna do it by myself. And then he soon he's like, yeah, I can't do it by myself. I need some backup. But man, Charles is willing to run over a little girl. He didn't give a fuck. He's
Oh yeah.
savage.
He almost had a Pet Cemetery Part 2.5. But yeah, that's another thing that like made this movie like a huge plus for me was all the practical effects and even the cinematography and the scenes in the chase. Like you can tell that the camera is right there and following two cars. And I just thought some of the practical effects were like really really good, especially for being a 1992 movie. Um, and then the chase scene leads into like Charles. What do they call it later on? They call it dimming, like dimming, like a dim mode. Dimming. Let's dim myself in the car, and the car disappears, even though it just stays in the one spot. Uh,
I thought it was a pretty cool thing. Just like not only did he disappear, but he was able to make him and the car disappear together. Like shit. But because that happens again later on in the movie. But I'm like, what if they just walk up to the like they bump into the car, or does it have like this magical effect that you can just walk through the car? Because um, Clovis from the cat's eye can see that he didn't disappear. He can clearly see him.
I see cat people.
I see cat bro. I just love how Clovis is like, oh, say, hey, I don't like you. The feelings met Charles.
Yeah, Charles is just like, stop looking at me.
Stop looking at me. I thought maybe that would have broken the little invisible shield, but no.
Yeah, and during the speed chase, during the chases, when you actually see like Charles's face kind of like go back from the creature back to his human form. Um,
Yeah, when that was changing, he started off was like they looked like a little boy morph, and then yeah, it was going all creatures.
in full creature mode towards the end, have you ever seen they kind of look like have you ever seen Pumpkinhead? That's what it kind of looked like at first.
Maybe like once. I know
Once,
there's like maybe two. What, there's like two, three movies. Pumpkinhead.
uh, maybe the first one's really only the one you need to watch. But yeah, that's what they kind of reminded me of. But what did you think of like the visual effects, the practical effects, the makeup, and it was a big plus for me. Did you like the way the creatures looked?
Yeah, they looked nasty. But I mean, practical effects. That's a did the magic. Now if it was CGI, I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh yeah. Well, the CGI that you had in this movie was what, just the purple light going from one mouth to another.
Oh yeah, the little magic throw up.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it.
The
The
I
transfer.
the sucking of the life.
You suck in it. But because after that whenever Charles loses the cop, um, he goes back into visible mode, I guess. And not only does he do that, he changes the car also from I'm not too
Oh,
sure what
from
the
yeah, yeah,
yeah
yeah. I don't know the model, but I know it
the
just goes
model.
from blue to red.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
so-
that's how big of car guys we are. It just goes from blue to red. We don't give two hells what that make and
Well, wasn't
model
the blue
is.
one like was it Pontiac, but the red one I don't know. Jeez.
Goes from one of them Pontiac Trans Ams to I think a Chevy
Ooh.
Blue Blazer or some shit like that.
I'm like, wow. I wonder how much more like uh powers do these creatures actually have.
Yeah. Um, Andy's death comes after Tanya kind of gets what they want coming to her, I guess. The whole plot of trying to abduct Tanya so they can suck the life out of her. Um, they go to like this, what was it, like a gravesite or just like a little picnic area?
That's both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and that's where he tends to lay down the law and he tries to take advantage of young Tanya, and it doesn't work because she hits him upside the head with a camera. She rakes his eyes out with a corkscrew.
Mm.
Um, and then the cop drives by and sees the blue car and recognizes it, and she comes out and save me, save me. Um, there wasn't a lot of cheese to this movie. I thought I was going to have a hard time watching some of it, but I honestly thought it was pretty cool.
When they were sucking the life, was the scene girthy?
It wasn't as girthy as we wanted it to be.
Mm.
Yeah,
You know,
the 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 blue stuff looked a little girthy though.
um, that scene whenever she's Tanya's taking pictures of taking pictures of him. already figuring his name at the moment. Charles. Just taking pictures of Charles. I thought maybe it's like that. She would find out from the pictures being developed, like, oh, these pictures are rights, but she doesn't get to look at the pictures herself. It's the police team. But yeah, as a scene, I was like, yeah, because I mean, the mirrors, you see their true selves, their true forms.
Mirrors don't lie.
It's quite terrifying. Well, because when Tanya goes inside the house, um, Charles' mother, she's trying to lure her inside. I think at that moment she straight up wanted to take her out, but yeah, in the mirror, it shows the background. It's like Charles, like, oh shit.
So I guess that right there probably points out that they're not vampire-like creatures, even though you could probably throw that in there, because then they would have like maybe no reflection.
No.
What would you call them? I know in the movie and in like the beginning log, they're mostly known as like shapeshifters, but it doesn't really state. I guess they're just on the back of the movie it says modern day vampires who move from small town to small town. So it does call them vampires on the back of the movie box. Vampires who are afraid of cats.
And their reflections.
So then that would make more sense then if you call them, modern day vampires. I guess Stephen King's version of vampires. Instead of biting the neck and drawing blood, they suck the life out of you. CPR style.
And then he pumps it into his mom.
Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah.
The cat attack, Andy dies. We already talked about it earlier. You get the Stephen King and Toby Hooper and Clive Barker cameos. Did you have any issues with like the beginning of the end, I guess, if you will, like introducing some of the other cops like Ron Perlman, and then the parents of Tanya, like they die? Did you think any of the deaths were cheesy, or did you like? Because I thought they were pretty. I thought they were pretty cool. I know they are kind of cheesy, and you get the guy getting the corn stuck in the back of his head.
Oh man!
She uses the corn as a knife and stabs the shit out of him with a corn.
I was like, what a way to go! You got just that corn to death. I don't know what news got stabbed.
Good luck digesting that.
I mean, the dad gets taken out with a vase. Gets knocked down. The mom gets pushed. Was she pushed? Yeah, just thrown out the window.
Yeah, she gets picked up, thrown out the window. Ron Perlman probably gets the worst death. Like he gets his two interlock fingers bit off, and then she just breaks his arm in half, and then rips it off, and he just dies. Like
Ron Perlman, a young-looking Ron Perlman. That's that.
He was so young, and like he kind of looked like he was a shapeshifter without the makeup.
It's funny because I was like, how fitting you put is because you look like one of the cats. There's I don't know if you've seen that picture on the internet that there's like a cat that looks like Ron Perlman. But man, I thought that was a cool entry of how he came into the movie. Like he kicks down the door.
Yeah, he was kind of a douche cop, honestly. Because the sheriff was like, protect that girl, and he's like, she just needs a mean tapping on the ass, and if her parents won't do it, I'll do it for her.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Not too many like vague memories. That's if there's one thing I could probably say that this movie's maybe a little on the negative side would be A lot of the deaths aren't like outlandish and bloody, but I don't think you need it really for this movie because it's more of a like I guess it says in the box, it is more of a fantasy supernatural horror movie
It was
more
a
than
fantasy,
yeah more than a
sexual fantasy.
yeah a gore fest I guess.
Come here.
So, but the ending goes by quick though. After Ron Perlman dies, you kind of have what'd you think of the final dance where she gets up and she dances with Charles one last time? He really turns into that's when you really see the full-fledged like vampire as he turns into the nasty, gruesome looking thing.
Yeah, when he was still trying to recover from Clovis. Someone's trying to call me on my phone. Oh, got distracted. But yeah, Clovis. He started to recover from that. He was just chilling on the couch, and it's funny because when they get back to him, she's like, "Oh, is he dead?" he's just no, he's just sleeping. It sounds like it sounds like she's not even sure of herself. Like, oh, are you okay? Yeah, he's okay. But I found it hilarious because like, as soon as she turns the song on, he's like, "Oh shit, I'm feeling it," and he goes in for the dance. But he's not really so much dancing. It looks like he's just kind of just like dragging along with her.
He's all he had to do was just lower the hands a little bit, and he probably would have had a little bit of life kicked in him.
It's just there. Oh, she's just Tanya's just terrified of her mind.
But
Like,
that's another big positive was like just the makeup of the creature's body oozing the blood, and when she was like putting that when the mom earlier in the film was cleaning him up with like the peroxide looking stuff, like that stuff that could have easily been and easily could have looked worse than what it did, but I thought it looked gross. It kind of looked like it would probably smell if you were there doing it in real life. I think everything looked good as far as like the blood, cleaning him up. Um, Even in the scene when they're dancing, she rakes out his other eye and completely, she Ric Flairs him and blinds the dude. And like even the blood and juicy parts of the meat coming out, I was like, damn, that really, really detailed stuff. And in a lot of horror movies, you don't get a lot of like really good detail practical effects. And this isn't even like a mainstream horror movie for its day. It's just kind of like a B-rated movie, but it's like detailed. That's what I really appreciate about it. Detailed.
the detail and incest. I mean, just yeah, a lot of it's cheesy, but it was cool. I mean, it's only so much you can do within the 90s or what time it was. I was watching some of the special features and they make a mention, like as far as that that scene where it was like shape shifting. I was like it was like the first of its like the effect. I don't know. I'm going blank on what I'm trying to say.
You talk about the usage of the actual like shape shifting from going from human to like the creature to changing the color of the car and stuff. Like it's almost like go ahead.
Like as far as effects wise, I think because it was that the little interview with the actors of Charles and Sonia. They're like, oh yeah, it was we're kind of like cutting edge, breaking cutting edge, like because of the effects we're using. So essentially, that's what I'm trying. I guess trying to say. Yeah.
Like even the like for its time.
Yeah, for its time, it was pretty groundbreaking.
Yeah, I can agree. And even looking at the budget, like I guess you wouldn't even really call this a B-rated movie then because it's got a $15 million budget, and I mean, I guess for a 1992 horror movie, that's kind of big, honestly. Um, so yeah, I guess that is a pretty big movie. I guess now my question is to you, since that's a big budget for its time, why do you think Sleepwalkers doesn't get talked about like some of the other movies? Like, I mean, it's got a bad rap, honestly. It's Metascore is 38, Rotten Tomatoes 33, IMDb is 5.3. Nobody likes this movie, but I feel like this is one of those, and I picked it for the reason, for the word underrated. Like, I think this is one of those movies that, it wasn't a book by Stephen King, so he wrote the screenplay and he wrote it specifically for the big screen. But I don't see the hate for this as much as I thought I would. Um, so I don't know. I think it really is underrated, um, and I do think it would be. I thought it would make for a fun conversation. I think it is. Hopefully, we can bring some eyes for people to go check this movie out. It's 30 years old. Um, I personally enjoy it. So yeah, what do you think? Why do you think it's underrated, or do you think it's underrated?
Hmm. Not. I don't know. Not enough gore. Not enough. No nudity. No bad.
No nudity.
Just, I mean, it's a. Uh,
There's just a
I don't know. I
lot of.
mean, people are just like mainly they're like focused on like Pet Cemetery, It, and all the more well-known Stephen King that were actually based on books. This one just kind of gets lost in the fold. Because it's not a bad movie. It's cheesy, but not enough to where like draw you out like what the hell am I watching? But nah.
Yeah, true. And you said the word earlier, cat's eye, and even that is a screenplay for Stephen King. So he had a thing for cats. Um,
Pets in general. Pet
yeah,
Cemetery.
pets in general. Yeah, real for real.
I'm surprised Church didn't make a cameo on this movie.
Hey, you know what? There, Cujo. I forgot he wrote Cujo too.
Cujo.
So yeah, there's a he's just obsessed with animals, which isn't a bad thing. The final ending though, what did you think of the two mom and daughter, mom and son just kind of
Mm.
burning alive, and you know that's that. The cat saved the day, and I guess throughout the whole movie, for those of you who maybe not have checked it out before you're watching this episode, is throughout the movie, if the cats like dig into the creatures, like it's almost like garlic for vampires, I guess, but the cats are like modern garlic for vampires, since this is a vampire story. Um, they start burning once the cats like dig into them, and the cats were the fire starters at the end of the movie. I'm gonna try to throw a cheap plug in there for some more Stephen King movies. But what did you think?
Mm.
Did you like the way they died at the end?
I feel like that was more like last minute decision. Like just put the how do we kill these fuckers off? How do we do it? How do we do it? All right. Well, they're afraid of cats. Now, these cats don't have humans' hands. They're not gonna grab weapons to kill them off. So either they kill them off by a bite or a scratch. I mean, essentially they're attacking them. But right, they're getting bit off. Do they die a regular death, or we just add some weird cheesy way? Like they just like yes, set them on fire. This is how it works. I like how the cats knew like oh shit, there's fire. Let's jump off now.
Yeah, even Clovis, like at the towards the end, the sheriff was like, "Clovis, that you?" And the cat's like, "Yep, this is Clovis." And he starts getting up on top of the roof and trying to get into the house. Like, follow me, you dumbass sheriff. This is how you get in.
I want to know like if there like there's like a certain signal of their meowing that draw them all together in that area, or if it's like a sense that led them there.
I think in the special features it shows something about like they were using like some kind of whistle or some kind of like noise to draw them all in together. Speaking of the original poster for this movie, Nick, if there was a UHD photo of this movie, you
Uh,
which is the original. I like this artwork. It's the original like poster for the movie, VHS copy, DVD copy of the movie. Um, Sleepwalkers.
that looks from what the movie is. I mean, I like the cover is like that's kind of different from what you see in the movie. Since this is
Oh
more
yeah,
like this one looks like they live on the Courage Cowardly Dog, middle of nowhere, versus the house they were in. It was kind of like they look more into like the city or maybe somewhere nearby, closer.
see, if you had never seen the movie and you showed me that poster, I would be like Sleepwalkers. Even the first 10 minutes of the movie, you're like, the cats are the evil bad guys. Like, because in the poster, you're
The
like, okay, are the
misleading.
cats? Yeah, are the cats possessed? And then, at the beginning of the movie, you have Charles and his mom setting the traps out. So you're like, oh fuck, these cats are like devilish. They're creatures. But what do you think? Do you like the Scream Factory slipcover, or do you like the classic VHS cover?
Oh man, you're throwing that question out there like it's an
It's,
easy question.
it's an easy
It's-
question. I,
I
if,
mean,
if you've seen the movie, I really do like the slipcase.
the slipcase,
It gives away everything.
yeah. Or just because I really like the original artwork they do. Like, it's really insane. Versus, I mean, the other one's just more like a simpler look.
Yeah,
But I
a
mean,
nice drawing.
man, I just like the pink. The colors really pop out in the cover.
Yeah.
And you have a Clovis on the cover. I mean, it's all you needed. I mean,
That is a pretty good looking like illustration of the cat of Clovis. I do think, yeah. Some of these slip cases by themselves go for like 30-40 bucks
without the
without the Blu-ray at all, just the slip case. People will pay like 20-30 bucks for the slip case. I'm in the wrong business then.
So you want the slipcase? Here you go.
Yeah.
I mean,
Shit.
just the movie throw out there, I would assume, that Walmart exclusive slipcover for No Way Home.
Oh
I can
yeah,
see that being online.
that too. People want to spend 40 bucks for a slip case. Hell, I'll be generous. I'll give you two for 40. Hit me up.
240.
That two for 40 that can buy a whole new 4K movie.
It could.
Um, I guess we don't really have much to talk about now. After you kind of get the son getting his due, and then the mom just kind of burns. She has the Kane ending. She'll be Big Red Machine here before too long.
Yeah, she's took a while to stay down. She was just set there on fire. Um, or that interview with Charles and Tanya. I don't know if it was intentional, like if it was just like left open. I mean, we assume that Charles actually died, but then they kind of talk about what if Charles actually he crawled away somewhere. Like what the actors actually I mean they're saying that like they
Oh
they
yeah.
even like they were joking around like, oh, it could be like a sequel, and Charles being like an older guy.
Well,
I
I know the whole joke is them sucking the life out of somebody, but what if the person doesn't need to be alive in order for Charles to get some kind of juice off of him? Like, what if he can still suck and get that purple spirit out of him
mm,
from a dead person? If you want to do some kind of like fantasy booking, like he could have crawled over to one of those dead cops and got the external life from one of them.
some theories.
Yeah, you heard it first. Exclusive. 32 years later, in 2 years, watch
I know
Sleepwalkers Part Two.
it's like could they? I mean, that's being created by someone's really big on Stephen King stuff. Like I
I
don't.
mean, somebody made a somebody rebooted Firestarter and it completely bombed. So
That was Zac
I mean,
Efron's. That was Zac Efron's idea. He's like, "Oh, we need to do Firestarter. Why? I need work." What
well, he better hurry up and do
the,
High School Musical 4, 5, or
what the
whatever
hell?
whatever number
The
they're on.
college years.
Yeah, because Firestarter damn sure almost burned his career down, didn't it?
It's sad.
Um, the score, the humming song that's at the end of the movie. It's also at the menu. If you have the Blu-ray, you can listen to it at the menu. I think that besides the main song that they dance to, that humming is just like, I don't know. If I had to rate this just the score, that one sound, that one soundtrack, I would be like, dude, it's a 5. It's a 5 out of 5 because you have the classic song that they dance to, the humming throughout the movie is just it gets you like mentally prepped for this is an uncomfortable, uh, creepy movie. I don't know. I'm not gonna go far and be like, oh, that should go up there with John Carpenter's Halloween score. No, I'm not gonna say that. but I think that hum is really catchy and it can get pretty creepy if you just sit there and listen to it. So good job on their part. But yeah.
Do you have some film facts?
I do have some film facts. This is some interesting interesting topic of discussion because I did not know what kind of film facts to go with, but let's see. According to the director Mick Garris, Stephen King's wife Tabitha King wrote a treatment for a sequel that would have involved a women's basketball team. Wah, wah, wah. That sounds kind of bad.
Teen Wolf?
Yeah. This is the only film that Stephen King and Clive Barker are in the same scene together. Only film. This is the first time Ron Perlman would be in a Stephen King movie. The second time would be Desperation in 2006, 14 years later. The second Stephen King movie to come out in 1992, the first one was The Lawnmower Man, and that came out a few weeks earlier in March. It is rumored that during the love scene between Brian Krause and Alice Krige, the actor said he was getting an erection during the shoot. The actress didn't mind, so Mick told him to get it wet if she's into it. Interesting. And I'm not making this up. This is on that film fact was on IMDb. She was into it, so they actually had sex during the scene. Garris confirmed during an interview where he said, and yet another was on the scene where Sleepwalkers was making love. No, they were not making love. They were doing it. Interesting. And that's probably why Mick Garris is never allowed to direct another movie again. Interesting. Both Mick Garris, the director, and Machen Amick, the actress who played Tanya, are really allergic to cats, as revealed in the recent Shout Factory Blu-ray release. They did not admit it to anyone until filming was already into production. Wow. Now you talk about some interesting facts. Those I could not make those up even if I tried. And those facts are on IMDb if anybody does not believe some of that interesting wet facts.
Mm-hmm. It's just I don't know, that's a fair time fact. I had to make it look realistic.
Oh, they did, didn't they? I feel like I need a cigarette now after reading those facts. And I don't even smoke.
Would you continue this movie? To be continued.
You know, how I love this movie, I don't think I would want to see a sequel, but I would not mind a pre-to be continued, which means I would like to see a prequel of how, where, why, even if it's two different creatures, where they come from and how they found, whether it's this Earth or if they just, where they come from. I think I would like a story on where they come from and how they do and why they do what they do. What about you?
That'd be an interesting idea. Well, me can they they talk about like it's starting to happen again, and you can just kind of cover the that whole whatever they gone through, and just like the ending of that movie would be them moving into this town, and it
Yeah,
would show like a scene of Charles seeing Tanya walking down somewhere, like walking to the movie theater, just like at
yeah,
that, like oh shit, oh it leads into the next movie.
yeah. That's true because you don't even at the beginning of this movie, you don't see him. It almost looks like he's playing um just like kind of like a game. Like he opens up the yearbook and just starts carving the T into his arm.
Have you
So
ever done that before?
negative.
I was like, what? That's a common thing, isn't it? I mean,
You talk about opening a yearbook and just, oh, who am I stalking today? No, 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 no,
uh,
no, no, no. No.
you're pretty. All right. It's like, man,
I burn their name into my arm. No.
I get a branded
Yeah.
little the steam. So why is yours on your ass? What? Oh, okay. Um, next film trailer. Well,
Uh-oh.
I don't think for this. I don't think we can pull this trailer up. If I'm being completely honest.
No?
Well, this trailer has a bunch of nudity.
Uh-oh.
I don't know how much we can get away with that.
That's true. It's the one that we talked about though, right?
With a special guest on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can at least just show the poster.
control the poster.
Yeah. I just what year was it from again?
2011 or 12, around those years.
Hmm. It is interesting movie though, right?
It's an interesting movie. Yeah, because we needed to review a movie that had more nudity or actual nudity because we didn't really get much nudity in this movie. It's probably sex scenes in this, but I mean it's a cheesy film. It's a cheesy.
I'm guessing it's the movie that does not have Robin Williams in it, right?
No, Robin Williams doesn't make an appearance in this movie, unfortunately.
I'm pretty sure this is it. I'm gonna show it.
The porno. The
Wait. Is it?
what? I don't know. You pulling up?
I mean, we're just gonna go with it.
Just go
So
with it.
if this isn't it, then
You're fired. Do it.
I
Straight up.
mean, straight up.
Yeah, that's the cover right there.
Okay. So Father's Day is our next episode on UHD. which is what we're talking about
Lock up your fathers.
on
That's what the little
on
slogan.
June the 8th, the Wednesday before Father's Day.
Yeah, and our special guest for that. Let's see something. Okay.
Poppy's Day.
No nudity in Sleepwalkers, just incest. I mean,
You get side boob, you get some kind of titty meat.
if you want to, if it piqued your interest, there's a thing called Google.
Google.
You can take me later. It's in another movie though. It's not this movie.
So Father's Day. Nick, what led you to pick Father's Day for the next UHD episode?
You know,
Have you seen it before?
no, I've not seen it. This is a I'm gonna tell you right now. This is a in the making episode right here.
In the making.
So I mean, it's kind of similar to Thanksgiving, like it was just talked about and then finally being reviewed. This is so before UHD took off, it was we hadn't done the show yet. One of my guests, the Funko Fat guy, of course we did almost all live together, and we're talking about what the show is gonna be, UHD, where either like underrated films or the cheesy films, and this was a movie that he had brought up himself, and this was like back in January, I believe we did this episode, not episode, but
Nice.
interview, and yeah, I hit him up about that long ago, like, are you so down to do the movie review? He said, yeah.
Father's Day, June 8th.
It was yeah. Because at the time I was like, oh, it might be a while before he gets to the episode. Like I was maybe even thinking about doing it sooner, but I was like, nah, let's at least try to make it to June.
Nice. I'm kind of excited, honestly. It's the first time I get to watch it. I've never seen it before, and it's not really on any kind of streaming service, so I get to go out and physically buy it. So that's always a plus too.
I think mine's coming in tomorrow.
Nice.
So I'll be peeking at that.
Peeking in on Poppy's Day. So yeah, I think that's a little fun discussion. Sleepwalkers. If you guys check it out, send even if it's next week on next week's Friday the 14th episode, send in your rating for Sleepwalkers. I think it'd be pretty fun to hear everybody's rating for this movie. 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can even give some halves like me and Nick did. 3.5 for both of us. So,
but so as far as the IG accounts and stuff, you can follow us at Friday the 14th podcast UHD. You can follow me at the 4K Bad Guy.
And you can follow me and check out some of my recent watches on the Instagram as well. It's at Cinnamon Movie Podcast. So that's at CINEMEN Movie Podcast. Some fun stuff.
It's fun stuff, man. Besides that, of course, the next, as far as the main show, Friday the 14th, our next episode will cover a movie called Malevolence, I believe that's what it's called. Malevolence.
Malevolente.
Something like that, but it's a movie on Netflix, and it stars
Florence Pugh.
Pugh.
That's all you have to know. You don't even need to know the name of this movie.
Say no more.
Yeah, say no more. Go to that IMDb app and just type in Florence Pugh. It's that horror movie that's not Midsummer. and that's what we're going to talk about. If it's got, I'm going to tell you right now, it's got Florence Pugh in it. It's automatically a 5. Okay.
Come back to it like, it's not a 5, but I want performance people to get it a 5.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
But yeah, it's Friday the 14th.
And that's June 1st, 8 p.m. And that movie is exclusively on Netflix too. So if you guys want to watch it and watch us talk about it, it's on Netflix. Keep up, because we're fast, boy. We watch things.
I watch things.
Florence Pugh, June 1st.
How about yourself, Mr. Juan?
I'm excited. Getting to sit here on this platform and talk to you good people and everybody about all different kinds of horror movies, but it has led me to bring on some of my work onto this platform and this channel as well. Tomorrow at 7 p.m., you guys and whoever wants to jump on, Nick, if you want to, you're more than welcome to. We're talking Jurassic Park 3 on the bonus episode of the Cinnamon Movie Podcast tomorrow. Some people call it the absolute worst of the franchise, the absolute dog shit of dog shits of all Jurassic Park movies. But I haven't seen it in a few years. I think it's going to be fun to talk about. They say one of those things, before you get to heaven, you got to get to hell. Well, before we go talk about Jurassic Park Dominion, we have to talk about Jurassic Park 3. So I think it's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to be as bad as everybody points it out to be. Who knows? But it's only an hour and a half, and you get to see a fucking pterodactyl. So I think it's going to be fun. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. Like I said, anybody wants to join it, jump on. Jurassic Park 3 is currently streaming on HBO Max. So check it out and watch us tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Nice.
Yeah. Any big Memorial Day plans this weekend, Nick? You got to work or?
Yeah. Be more likely to be working on the weekend.
Damn. I don't get a 3-day weekend, but I'll be checking out Top Gun Maverick for sure. So a lot of stuff to check out this weekend too.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I guess that's about it. Unless you wanna do a bonus episode.
Yeah.
This Friday?
Yeah, we might be able to. I have to check it out. Talk about some nice little 4K slips and some discs, but
some new pickups and yeah.
If I can't get my hands on this one thing that I really want to talk about, if we don't do it this Friday, I think we should definitely do it the first Friday of June, which is June the 3rd. I don't know, but we'll see. I like how those episodes just kind of drop out of nowhere, like a tornado, like an RKO
out of nowhere.
But yeah, that's it for me for Sleepwalkers. Unless you have anything else, I think it's a very underrated movie. Go check it out. $2.99 on Prime Video. That's pretty cheap, man. So rent it.
Yeah, it was just a fun episode. That's about it from us. Remember, folks, always ban the bad guy. Thanks for tuning in.